the idea of God. And what's strange, what would be marvelous, is not that God should really exist. The marvel is that such an idea, the idea of the necessity of God, could enter the head of such a savage, vicious beast as man. So holy it is, so touching, so wise, and so great a credit it does to man. Fyodor Dostoevsky. We are in the grips of nature, a force that never asks whether we wish to exist. It gave us corruptible bodies and suffering hearts. It placed us in a world we did not choose and left us to discover its laws, often through pain. It gave us senses and made them our bondages. It gave us intellect but veiled it in ignorance. It gave us desires and allowed those very desires to destroy us. It was out of this precarious existence of man that a creative urge to know the forces of nature and transcend the very conditions that make life miserable took root. Right after savages began to organize themselves and human society moved from hunter-gatherers to settlers, the human mind was stirred by curiosity about man and nature, God and divinity, good and evil. He longed to be represented by something higher than himself, something that would offer him freedom. Since man is mortal and finite, he desperately sought that which is immortal and eternal. This is the genesis of the idea of God. From the ancient Greek city-states to the very greatest societies of India, and from the Babylonians to the Egyptians, this thought permeated all of the mankind at the dawn of a collective conscious history. There never have been times in the history of mankind without some idea of the God. From the very first thinkers and the sages of the antiquity to the philosophers of the Middle Ages, man has always grappled to define the undefinable. So, in this two-part video, we pick up few of the major ideas of God and try to find that golden thread running across all these ideas. Animism, nature and its forces as God. In the earliest stages of human civilization, the idea of God was simple, immediate, and closely connected with nature. Early humans lived in a mysterious and often frightening world. Thunderstorms, floods, earthquakes, and even the movement of the sun and stars appeared powerful and beyond human control. Thus, in their attempt to understand these forces and possibly overcome them, humans began to imagine that nature itself was alive with spiritual power. This belief gave rise to animism and paganism, which represent some of the earliest forms of religious thought. Animism is the belief that every element of nature possesses a spirit, a soul. Early humans believed that rivers, trees, mountains, animals, and even stones were inhabited by invisible spirits. These spirits were thought to influence human life, bringing either blessings or misfortune. The idea was not of one supreme God, but of countless spirits present everywhere in the nature. People tried to please these spirits through rituals, offerings, and prayers. Anthropologists consider animism as one of the oldest religious attitudes of humankind. In many ancient societies, hunters and gatherers believed that animals they hunted had spirits that must be respected. Trees and forests were also considered sacred because they were believed to house supernatural beings. Such beliefs can be found in the early traditions of many cultures across the world. The Great Patriarch. As human consciousness expanded, the idea of God evolved too. It was now closely tied to family and tribe rather than abstract natural forces. The thinkers of those ages believed that the great patriarchs of their clans, the ones who had led, protected, and organized the community, did not simply perish after death. Instead, they were thought to continue their existence in another realm and gradually came to be regarded as divine figures. From this belief emerged the practice of ancestor worship. The departed patriarchs were believed to possess power over the fortunes of the living. They could bless the harvest, guard the household, or bring misfortune if neglected. Thus began the custom of ceremonial burials and funeral rites, meant not only to honor the dead, but also to maintain a living bond with them. In ancient Egypt and early India, families brought food, water, and offerings for the departed ancestors, believing that their spirits could grant prosperity, protection, and even forgiveness. These practices are still followed across India. Similar practices existed in many early societies where patriarch of clan, once its leader in life, became its guardian spirit in death. Thus, the earliest idea of God was not a philosophical abstraction, but a deeply human impulse, the reverence for ancestors who were believed to continue guiding the destiny of the community. Polytheism, tribal chiefs and local gods. As the clans came together and formed bigger tribes, the idea of God went through another major transformation. The god was no longer the great patriarch, but a powerful ruler who commanded the forces of the nature and protected their tribe. This deity was compassionate towards his own people, yet merciless and destructive towards their enemies. The thinkers in ancient Greece, Egypt, and India conceived of these gods in polytheistic and anthropomorphic forms. While polytheism refers to the belief in many gods, each governing a specific aspect of nature or human life, anthropomorphism means that these gods were imagined in human form, possessing human emotions, personalities, and social relationships. If Greeks had their titans, the Rig Veda notes early Indian gods as Agni, Varuna, Rudra, and so on. With time, this idea evolved too. The chief of the conquering tribes became the chief god. For Greeks, it was Zeus. For Egyptians, it was Amun. For Babylonians, it was Marduk. And for Indo-Aryans, it was Indra. The belief in these gods was highly ritualistic and out of the fear of punishment. Monotheism, the loving Father and the Creator. With the advancement of thoughts and ethical ideals came the rebellion against the earlier ideas of God that saw the divinity in a very narrow light. There arose a certain sense in man to check the natural and barbaric impulses inherited from the primitive age. In ancient India, several texts reveal how Indra fell victim to vices and indulgence. He often drank too much and talked unintelligibly. Thus, the earlier idea of a violent, fierce, revenge-seeking, beef-eating, and wine-drinking gods became incongruous. Now gods had to be ethical. He loved mankind and did good to all. He was a loving father and an intelligent creator of the nature and its forces. This intellectual and spiritual awakening unfolded slowly across centuries. Gradually, the scattered multitude of tribal gods and local deities began to yield to a more unified vision. Humanity moved step by step from the crowded heavens of polytheism towards the austere and commanding idea of a single sovereign divinity, which came to be regarded as monotheism. In ancient Egypt, an important step towards monotheistic thinking appeared during the reign of Akhenaten in the 14th century BCE. Akhenaten attempted to replace the traditional worship of many gods with the worship of Aten, the radiant sun disk regarded as a sole creator and the giver of life. A clearer form of monotheistic thought appeared in ancient Persia with the teachings of Zoroaster. Zoroaster or Zarathustra encouraged people to worship Ahura Mazda, the wise lord and the creator of the universe. Ahura Mazda was believed to be the source of truth, goodness, and light. He was regarded as a just and benevolent ruler who cared for the humanity. For the ancient Hebrews, around the period of Babylonian exile, emerged the Abraham, who entered the covenant with the God that man would now pray only Jehovah. Thus began the great history of the first Abrahamic religion, Judaism, that would further undergo major transformation after the birth of Jesus of Nazareth and Prophet Muhammad. Christianity and Islam would emerge as leading and evangelist Abrahamic religion. However, it was on the eastern side of the river Ganga that the idea of God took the highest flight. The ancient Vedic gods, such as Indra and Varuna, gradually faded in prominence as the Puranic period saw the emergence of the new divine forms. The fierce and destructive Vedic deity Rudra found balance and evolved into the auspicious, multifaceted god Shiva by merging his fierce, destructive aspects with the benevolent, austere, and divine characteristics. Likewise, the minor Vedic deity Vishnu, who was earlier known as solar deity, became Narayan alongside Brahma, the creator. Yet the journey did not end there. The vision widened further. God was no longer merely seen as the chief among powers, but the unseen intelligence that sustains the cosmos. He was the moral fountainhead from which flow the laws that seek to harmonize humanity and guide it towards unity and justice. In the next part, we'll explore how the idea of God evolved during the post-Vedic period in India and the Enlightenment era in the West. Stay tuned for the regular updates, and if you enjoy our content, don't forget to subscribe. It truly helps us to continue this journey. But above all, keep watching. See you in the next video. Until then, stay curious. Thank you for watching.